Hello. I just wanted to come in here and just share with you a little bit about something called a glass ceiling, also known as our upper limit. And what what this kind of describes is this like invisible ceiling that we have in terms of how far we go towards finding our true self and allowing and giving ourselves permission to be who we really are. And obviously within that, that means following our passions and our purpose and living by who we are with our values and our strengths and our skills and talents. So we all ultimately are moving towards this state where we love ourselves and therefore we act from a place of love and supporting ourselves to get where we want to go in all areas of life. So you've heard me talk a lot about the basement, right? And this concept is newer to me, much newer to me than the basement, but it actually works in alignment with your basement. So we've talked about the basement being a place where we store like all our deep and dark experiences and the unprocessed emotions that are held and within our basement until such time that we recognize these emotions that haven't been seen, heard and understood and expressed, and then they can kind of release. And so that means as we clear out our basement, if you like, the basement rises, as there isn't so much dark stuff down there. So the very bottom of the basement would be things like loneliness, unworthiness. And so what starts to happen as we do the work to recognize who we are and that we're worthy of so much more than we realize or what we've been led to believe we are, our basement starts to lift. Well, this glass ceiling actually it stays in position with your basement and it moves up as and down with your basement, and so therefore your basement raises when your glass ceiling raises. So what that actually means is raising our glass ceiling is breaking through the upper limit of wherever we've been before in terms of growth, in terms of personal growth and emotional development. So if you like, somebody who's enlightened has broken through their glass ceiling and there is no limit. That's the top end. And then someone who is completely unworthy and not worthy of love, of any sense of belonging, their basement would be right at the bottom here. So these two things shift together. So here's the thing. When you start to do good things and you start to feel good, and I've seen this thing happening as you begin to break through your upper limit. So for instance, we've all like been on this journey and we've all got so far, and then what happens is as we generally put it, something happens, or just as I was doing well, this happens, and it's not by accident. We actually see opportunities to stay within our glass ceiling, to stop moving forward, because our nervous system makes sure we stay where we are because change is scary, right? So what this means is that when we're really truly on our path to recognizing who we are, we don't allow our nervous system so easily to come in and keep us under our upper limit. we get to the point where we believe so much in ourselves that we're able to begin to raise the roof or raise the ceiling so that we increase our upper limit. And as I say, I've seen this in the calls with you ladies, where you are actually starting to recognize still those negative beliefs that creep in, but what you're actually doing is not allowing it to lower. So essentially what's happening is when your glass ceiling raises, so does your basement. So when you do have those down days, you don't tend to go all the way back to where we were, because our lower limit raises with. So what that means is if we do allow ourselves to dip, that our basement can easily dip down with us. But it's just a new concept to me in the last few months, and I haven't shared it because I wanted to really receive it for myself, this upper limit thing, and the idea that if we go off unaware, wherever we get to, our results will at some point be allowed to drift back down again, and we fall back into our old ways. But when we start to break through that glass ceiling, we're actually able to hold ourselves up there, even when, this is where we really do that resistance work. Even though I am finding it so hard to stay here right now, I'm finding it so hard to believe in myself or believe that I can do the things I want to do or be the person I want to be. I love myself anyway. So working with that resistance when we hit that ceiling is so, so important to stay with ourselves. This is where we bring in the Ho'oponopono at the highest level. We want to clean, because it isn't actually real. This is the thing. We can move past that upper limit, but it's just our nervous system doesn't believe we can. It doesn't allow us to, because to the nervous system, if we move past our upper limit, it's scary. So I really hope that made sense to you, and I'd love to have conversations with you on the calls about this, because this is really exciting for me, and I feel like I'm actually aware of my limiting beliefs right now. And so, I mean, mine isn't so much obviously with food and body. I've broken my glass ceiling around how I care for my body and how I love my body. But these things come up as we slowly work towards moving towards our purpose and believing in ourselves. These things actually come up differently, but the same. So I'm actually holding myself up here right now and saying, this is where we're going. I'm making decisions that are the best for my business in order to move it forward, because I'm following my passion, and I know I'm absolutely meant to help more people in the way that I've helped all of my one-on-one clients and you ladies, you founding members so far as well. So I hope that was an interesting one. Glass upper limit, glass ceiling, you can call it whatever you want, but I'm hoping that you recognize sometimes when you hit that, we just get pulled back down. But we're going to stay with it, and we're going to recognize it, and we're going to move through our upper limit. See you soon.